Hello everyone, welcome to a day that I have been looking forward to for a very, very long time. This is Saturday, December 8th. It is one day after Katamari Damacy Reroll has made its triumphant entrance into the world of the PC. Up until now, this game was only available on the PlayStation series of consoles. This is my favorite game series of all time, first of all, let me just say this. I first bought this game back in 2004 when it was first released on the PlayStation 2. I heard about it online, and I just couldn't imagine what it was. It just sounded so weird, and of course this is before YouTube, so I had no idea what it looked like. And I was on the Digital Press forums, and somebody said it had a very Polyphonic Spree vibe, and Polyphonic Spree was a band that I was way into at that time. And so I was living in near DC, Washington DC at the time, and I drove to an indie game store because none of the mainstream game stores had copies in stock. And I got the only copy they had. It was a budget release. It was only 20 bucks. And I took it home, and I couldn't believe how wacky it was, and how wonderful the music was, and how over the top the story was, and the characters and everything like that. And so after the original was released, a couple years later, they released, I think it was called Everyone Loves Katamari, or maybe it was Me and My Katamari. I can't remember what the second game was called. So I bought that. That was also for PS2, and really enjoyed that. Somewhat more so than the first game. And then, let's see, there was a few years before the next game came out. The next game came out in 2008 probably. And I was living in Korea at the time, and it came out on the Xbox 360, and I remember ordering it from PlayAsia and being very disappointed with it. It just seemed like it lost a lot of the charm that the original had, and also it was one of these games where the DLC was on the disc. That was no good. So, you know, it was not great. But it was still a Katamari game. Oh, and in between, I forgot to mention that I also played the PSP title when I had a PSP, and that game was not great because it mapped the analog controls to the D-pad and the 4 face buttons, so that wasn't great either. But anyway, I never lost my love for the first 2 games in the series, and so when this was announced that it was going to come out on the the first game was being remastered in HD on the PC, I couldn't pass it up, and I want to do a stream today, and so that's how we ended up here. So anyway, this is the options screen. I've already gone through the tutorial, so we should be ready to jump in. Just as fair warning, this game does make you play through the tutorials and play a small level before it lets you change your screen resolution. So if you're looking to do that right out of the gate, it's going to show up as a 720p windowed experience until you complete the tutorial for some reason. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump right in to our first world. And so we jump over here to the Earth from our home planet. We have a couple options: Make a Star 2 and Make a Star 1. I've already done Make a Star 1 on the is the tutorial level, but we're going to play it again because that was before I started streaming. So. Oh, little tie right off the bat. That's awesome. Having a, I wish my Thai wife was here to see that. So obviously a little bit of a Freddie Mercury influence on the King of all Cosmos, although he does sport a wicked pompadour as well. So. All right. So this game is very simple. You have tank controls, and you have to pick up objects smaller than your Katamari, than your ball. But as you pick up those small objects, your Katamari grows in size and you can pick up bigger and bigger things. Matthew, what's up, man? I will try not to roll my wife's family, although I would love a Katamari game set in the Land of Smiles. It would be wonderful. How are you doing this morning, Matthew? I guess it's afternoon now. It's about 2 o'clock Eastern. This game just has fantastic music. I bought the CD soundtrack, imported it from Japan. Still listen to it all the time. Look at that, there's a Famicom. That was definitely not in the first version. Crazy. So there are some additions in this game as well. Hey Pixels, sounds good, man. I saw a picture of you and Chris. That looks like you guys had a blast. It's funny because I was just drinking a bottle of Old Speckled Hen on Wednesday. That's what Chris was drinking. So, all right, so we've leveled up our Katamari. So when you run into an object that's just slightly bigger than your Katamari, you knock it over. You kind of stun it, and then you can pick it up. So it adds an extra element of strategy to the game. You know, this game has there are a couple games that are kind of like this, I think. No One Can Stop Mr. Domino has a lot of like Japanese, you know, interiors is the setting. Chibi Robo on the GameCube, also kind of similar. And so there were a couple games that were released during this time. Oh, this is kind of a weird hybrid thing. So it's got controllers on the sides like the Famicom, but it's got DB9 joystick ports like an Atari, and then it takes cue cards like a TurboGrafx 16. And the name of the system is the Game 2600, so that's kind of a weird thing. Oh man, Pixels, you should get it. You will not be disappointed. And here's a tip for you, for anybody that's listening to this now. Do not buy this game through Steam. Go to, I got this through a site called Games Billet. They have it, they're selling it right now for $18 instead of $30 that you pay for it on Steam. I don't know why that is, but you can save yourself $10 and end up with an awesome game. I said, you know, I might not have bought this game if it hadn't been released as a budget title in the first place, at a $20 budget title. This was a commonly done thing in the early to mid 2000s. I know it's hard to believe, but I believe that I think it was 2K released some of their sports games in 2005 at $20 a piece, and so that was kind of a strategy to get a leg up on Madden, and it worked. And they were very well received games. If they just had the, I think they didn't have the team license, they only had the player license or something like that. But anyway, so you're kind of limited in this first stage to rolling around this one small room. However, this will change in later stages as more and more things become available to you. Look, I never noticed that katana there before. Now, in later games, you actually have the ability to jump your Katamari, but in this game you don't. You can jump up here and get the Prince look from far away, but you can't actually jump your Katamari. That was something that they introduced later on. And we're out of time. Matthew, I'm telling you, this is a the king is hilarious too. So at the end of every stage, you take the royal rainbow that issues forth from the king's mouth back to space, of course, where you go, and you just created a star for the sky. Let's see what he thinks. He'll rate your Katamari. So I did pretty well. Wow, he's very kind. Happy, happy, so happy. Oh shoot, I skipped by that. It tells you the thing that you collected the most, and we won't miss that again on the next stage. Now, you can see the star next to the size there, and that tells you that you have reached a bigger Katamari than you ever have before. See, my old Katamari was only 10 centimeters, so you have the option. You can either turn this into Stardust, which means keep my old data, or you can create a star and that will replace the former star. So the old star, boom, out of here. The new star, sneak a bite. And we return back to the home planet. So let's go and let's see what new things there are to do here. So this was Make a Star 1. Let's go to Make a Star 2 and let's see where we're going to roll next. Could it be Vietnamese? I don't know. Philippines. Ah. Like that's possible. Oh, so he's hidden a present somewhere in the stage that we should find. So the creator of this game, I believe this was the very first video game that he ever designed. After that, he stopped making games and he started making playground equipment. Although he has made, he's made several other games in the meantime. This is one of my favorite songs on the soundtrack, by the way. This is this Japanese rap. But anyway, if you've ever heard of Nobi Nobi Boy on the PS3, or trying to think of, there was another game that he made that was it was really more of a modern art piece. It was a MMO, and I wish I could think what it's called, but I can't. But anyway, look this guy up. I think his name is like Ki Takahashi or something like that. I follow him on Twitter. He's great. So we're back in the room, but we will be leaving this room once we get to a certain size. We have 7 minutes, which is a pretty long time to play in this stage. Ha! Eat it, snail. Frogs going on here. It's so awesome to play this game in glorious high definition. There is a PS3 Katamari game, Katamari Forever, that has some of the classic stages from the first Katamari game in it. However, they've replaced a lot of the music with remixed versions, and they're just not as good. Sometimes I actually play the PS3 version and just put on the original soundtrack. Picard, what's going on, man? So now we've got some prawn here. Let's roll up what's on the table. A little House of Cards action with the Santa gnome. Oh yeah, there's just nothing more satisfying than just rolling stuff up, you know? It's kind of got that like tidying your house feel to it. So my Katamari is big as 889 Gaiokusho. Yes. Hey, you can warm yourself up with the warm glow of Katamari Rerolled. Quite possibly the game with the sunniest disposition of all time. Alright, let's cross this ruler here. Let's get this ring. Ah, I couldn't get the ring. So that sounds like a ricochet or something. Those are enemies that are fleeing in your presence. Ah. There we go. So once we get to... actually, we may be able to escape here pretty soon. Just got to figure out where the exit is. It's right here. Boom. We are outside for the very first time. Pick up these dandelions. Dandelions any kind of like floral stuff is usually good for increasing your Katamari size. There is a way to min-max this game if you've ever watched any speedruns. Picking up certain objects, while they seem to be the same size, are more advantageous to increasing the total size of your Katamari. What you really want to look for is the items with the most sort of width. Yeah, I have not played that, but from what I've read, it's a very similar vibe for sure. I don't know if that is what platform that is available for. If that is just a PlayStation, a lot of times, you know, those really wacky games only get PlayStation releases. But I would certainly look into it if it was on PC. Let's get these socks. Sock time. Vegetables. Okay, and you can actually, let's see, it looks like we are blocked from going down in here, I think. Yeah, later on in the game, we'll actually go down over there. I'd be an awesome Japanese rapper, I think. Okay, cool. I will definitely check it out. I'm a big fan of any kind of alternative gameplay styles. You know, I've never been a guy that likes to be a guy that goes around shooting other guys. It's not my bag. I'd rather be a big ball that rolls stuff up. Oh, I found the present! Sweet! We'll open it up at the conclusion of this stage. It seems like it would be a good fit for mobile from what I've heard of it. Okay. So, this is, I am not playing real well. Ideally, you want to plan your route so you're constantly rolling other stuff. And like I said, it's been a while since I played this particular stage. I thought that I would be able to go under there and continue out onto the road, but I was mistaken. Let's go back into the house. I bet I can roll up a lot more stuff in the house. Oh yeah, can I get through here? Is it gonna let me know? Books. Heirlooms. All right, it looks like we've done a lot of stuff. We've gotten a lot of stuff. We haven't gone in here by the radiator. There we go. Secret areas. That's what it's all about. Ah, we're stuck. Let's get these batteries. There's squid? Oh no, there's cucumbers. Eggplants. What do they call eggplants in other countries? It's courgettes or something like that. I think they do that in Canada, right, Matthew? Isn't it some other word that's not eggplant? Roberchet. All right, let's see how we did. All right, looks like we did well again. Move the tiers. Aubergine. That sounds so much more classy than eggplant. There's the present. Oh man, I'm definitely gonna put that thing on. That's just what we need for December. Okay, let's not skip past this time. What? Oh, okay, it's over here on the side. Okay, so where playtime was the most, then stationary. and then fruit. I'm guessing it's stationary objects, not stationary, because I think that's misspelled. Awesome, John. Can't wait, man. Yeah, Christmas party at Amigos Studios. It's going to be a good time. And now we have the story. All right, we'll have to see what that's all about. Man, the yellow jacket or the yellow vest people are really, it's getting crazy over there. Eep and I were in Paris in June, and I'm glad we went then and not now. It seems a little bit scary. Okay, so in addition to just the rolly up, how big can you go stages, there are also stages where you make various constellations. And so we're gonna make Cancer. Guess what we're collecting? I like how you use the accented E, Matthew, again, with the classy French. Spécial! You know, I'm not a big crab guy in terms of eating. There's lots of other seafood that I would rather eat. But crab is okay. I mostly like the crab rangoon. I'm not sure that the crab rangoon is naturally occurring in nature. Okay, here we go. It's crab time. The soundtrack just gets me pumped up, ready to rock and roll. All right, crabs, yeah. This is a very strange yard populated with toothpaste, scissors, and crabs. So the idea here is that you don't want to collect a lot of other stuff, because if you get to a certain size, you will no longer be able to pick up the smallest crabs. So the idea is that you focus in on just getting the crabs, and then once you've gotten all the crabs of a certain size, then collect other stuff to get yourself big enough to get the next set of crabs, if that makes any sense. Some crabs in a water gun fight, as they're off to do. This is called Katamari Mambo, is the name of this track. All right, now we can get the next size up crabs. You see they start to run from you. They fear you, as they should. But the way I like to think about it is once they're rolled up, they're just super happy. They don't mind being rolled up into a ball. It's a good time. See if there's any crabs hiding out up here. There's a couple. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh. Can't get that huge one yet. Okay. What's up, crabs? I love that the lady, she's out of it. Of course, this is like the third time we've rolled up everything in her living room, so I'm sure she's just used to it. The blue crab. All right. You too. Okay, and we can get out of here now. Oh, are they going to let us get under there? Maybe that's blocked. Maybe we gotta take a separate route out of here. The great thing about this game too is it's infinitely playable. I mean, whenever you get done playing a stage, you're always like, well, you know, I did okay, but I bet I can do better. And those are my favorite kind of games, the games that you know, where the challenge is small. It's the old shtick, you know, easy to play, hard to master, that keeps you coming back over and over again. Seem to be running out of space here. Oh, here's a whole crowd of crabs. It seems like I should be able to go down in here. Maybe that's just something you've got to do earlier on in the stage, because I'm definitely too big to go in there now. I like my scarf. I'm just like that Doctor Who guy that always wore the scarf. I'm not a big Doctor Who fan, but I remember the guy with the scarf. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, here's the golf pole. I think there was a crab on the top of that. I can't help but think I'm missing out on another part of this stage. But maybe I'm just so used to the later stages where you're literally rolling around the world. We'll find out at the end. Tom Baker. That's right. How are you, Necronum? Welcome to the stream. Alright, 1 minute left. Oh, there's another crab over there. There we go. I bet there's a crab in that pot. If you get big enough, I bet you can roll up the pot and reveal a crab. But I'm... Oh, there's a green crab. Nope. So there's going to be a couple of these that I miss. See if I can leap off this thing. Oh, there we go. And one more to go, and I think I'll have gotten them all that I can see. What are you playing on PS4? All right. I think we did well on that one, guys. I wish I could travel by rainbow. 84% of the crabs. So, I don't know. I feel like we did better than that, but I guess not. Too crab intensive and kind of gross. Yeah, controls are totally tank style, Matthew. It's the perfect way to be. What do you think of it? What do you think of Onrush, Paul? I feel the cosmos. So, I guess I'd never talked about the plot of this game. So here's the plot. The king of all cosmos got drunk one night, went on kind of a bender, and accidentally destroyed all the stars in the sky. So it's your job as his son to go to Earth, roll things up for the king to cast into the sky to make a new starry sky. All right, so we've done the crab. Done Make a Star 2. Let's go to Make a Star 3. I've never been to Portugal. Oh. I can see how that would be a problem, Paul. Another present. Okay, so now you're going to get to see the outdoors for the very first time, I think. Yeah, this is when things get really fun. So rolling around town. We got to be 50 centimeters. The biggest one we've done so far. We got 9 minutes to do it in. Your father is not very kind to you, by the way. And I think that this song is called Gin and Tonic. I'm pretty sure that's what this song is called. So again, you know, the good items for you to collect in this are the magnets and the toothbrushes. And any kind of like plant. Plants are always good for like rapid growth in Katamari. Dung beetle, not so much, but we'll get them anyway. Well, I thought we would. Let's try it again. Yeah, come on. There we go. See you, Matthew. Have a good time playing in the snow, man. You know, I learned a lot about what various things are called, too, by playing this game. Like, those, like, sparrow eggs or whatever. Like, those are real popular in Asia, but we don't really have them here. They might not be sparrow eggs, but when I collect one, I'll play what they are. Or you got your Gashpon toys here, toy capsules. You know, the normal things you find laying around in town. Oh, we're not big enough to pick up the dandelions yet. That's the big money for your Katamari. A biento! Au revoir, mon ami. I really think that, you know, this era, the late PS1, early PS2 era, there were a lot more wacky games. Oh, these are takoyaki. They're not sparrow eggs. My fault. It just seemed like there were... And I know that the indie scene, there's wacky stuff all the time, 24/7. But, like, I don't know. I really miss Japanese game development on the world stage. It's not in vogue right now, and it's a darn shame. Wow. I've never heard of a school hiring a snow machine. I guess we get our own snow in West Virginia pretty often. We're rarely in need of a snow machine outside of like the ski resorts. So I'm sure the kids were over the moon though, weren't they, Paul? Ha! Come on. It's a bunch of arrows. These are great. This is just what you want. You want a bunch of arrows. Even though they're not adding a lot to the mass, they will make your Katamari bigger faster. Some veggies, not big enough to pull those out of the ground yet. How about these? Nope. We're punching above our weight. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing, Paul. I love the fact that you can pick up the chalk drawing too. All these cats, they want none to do with me. Oh yeah. Oh, gotta get away from this dog. So it's hilarious the relationship that you have with the animals and the people in this game. Where, you know, when you're smaller than they are, they'll run towards you and kick you, you know, but then when you get bigger, they flee in terror and you get your revenge. Any of these little flowers. Alright, we're getting somewhere now. My goal is to get big enough where I can get those animals. I don't think we're far away. The birds will come back and you can continue to pick them up. Milk jugs. Alright. So we've reached our height and we still have 4 minutes left. So we're going to rock this level. Bundles of papers here. And we haven't even been up here. Climb the stairs. I don't think we've picked up our present yet either, which is somewhere in this level. Oh, I can't get the toy car. These carrots will be great for building our ball up. Carrots everywhere! Oh yeah. It's on now. Those cats better be running scared. Oh, yep, they're running from me now. Ha ha ha. Oh yeah. Pick these up real quick. So I don't know if in this game they have eternal mode or not, but if you do well on a level and you get above a certain amount, you'll actually unlock eternal mode, which lets you roll without a time limit, and you can literally roll up everything on the stage. To me, it's not very fun because you know the challenge is to do it within the time limit, but that is another thing in the game. Bells. I bet they weigh a ton. Or, it's funny they call them gongs. I don't know that I would call that a gong. Can I get up this ladder? No. Alright, we're running out of time. We gotta make the most of what we got. spoons we couldn't pick up earlier, or ladles. I know I've asked you this before, Paul, but what age school kids do you is the school that you work at? I know that they like the whole schooling system is different in the UK. Like it's like infant school, grammar school, college, which you go to when you're like 12 or something. Oh boy, let's get this dog. Aha! Got cooking stuff the most this time. Oh, that's awesome. That's very cool, Paul.
ねえねえ、さっきテレビで星がなくなったって言ってたよ。
ほほほ、そんなことがあるものですか。さあ、タクシーが来ましたよ。
本当に言ってたのにな。なあ。
The plot thickens. Oh, let's go back and see. Did we get the present last time? Let's see. Nope, you sure didn't. So that'll be something on a future playthrough we'll tackle. Okay, we'll move on to Make a Star 4. So there's also a present on this level. So we're going up to a meter. First time. 10 minutes. We're gonna get huge. I love start. Oh, this is it. This is my favorite song on the soundtrack. This is Lonely Rolling Star. I love starting out on this table because it's got all these little fun things that are all in a row. And there's just something so satisfying about like rolling them up. You know, these you just stand here and you just collect all the stuff. And you can't get the batteries right away. What you have to do is you have to roll up everything else, and then at the very last thing you can get those batteries. So. And this is, I've actually timed this out. This is not the best way to play the level, but it's the most fun. I don't want to leave this table before I can roll up these batteries. And these Japanese style erasers, I didn't know about those forever, and they are the best. I use them all the time. They're, it's not a rubber eraser, it's a polymer eraser. This is deeply entertaining for all of you, I'm sure, to hear about what kind of eraser I use. Once a very long time ago, I published a video on YouTube visiting Japanese arcades, and I use this music as the background. I love this song. This mouse. All right, now when you get one mouse, then you can get all the rest. And now we can move outside. Collect all your books. And the idea is to get a high, to get your best score, you want to move out into the next area as soon as possible, because that's where the majority of the bigger objects are. I think think this is once you get to 20, you can get through there, so a little bit more to do. See if I'm big enough to just collect these things as they fall. Probably not. Let's get these magnets first. Cucumber! Oh, okay. So it's possible that I probably should have gone back inside right there, because I really need to get to 20. And there's, okay, there we go. I got that bird. That was what I needed. Okay. So let's get these dandelions. Oh, I can't get them. Dang it. How about the water gun? Some small things before we go under the house here. Okay, now let's go under the house. So eventually you'll go out on the street, but the wise tack to do here is to come in here and get this stuff, because this is how you get big enough to dominate the street scene. And eventually we're going to end up on the roof of the house. Spoiler. So if Katamari Forever would have included the original soundtrack, you know, that would really be the game to get over this game, you know, unless you don't have the PS3. But the inclusion of the original soundtrack on this game alone makes it worth buying for me. Plus, I still hold out hope that if I continue to buy, oh, there's the present. I'm not big enough to get it yet. I continue to hold out hope that if I keep buying these re-releases and whatever, they will then we'll end up getting new games. I know that Ki Takahashi, I don't know how to say it, I'm terrible, but he's working on a new game called Wadham, which is very much in his vein of games that's just like, you know, wackiness, and that is going to be released on PC and PS4, I think. It's sort of been in publishing limbo, I think, or maybe even development limbo, as he's struggled to find maybe a publisher, but I hope that it gets made, because I support this guy's work. All right, now it's time to go out on the street and dominate. Oh, actually, now it's time to get that present before we forget. And so the present is going to be... Where is it? Over here. Well, there it is. All right. We have the present. So once you get to a certain size in this game, it's tempting to just roll around and get a bunch of the little stuff that you couldn't before. And there's nothing wrong with playing the game that way, but if you really want to min-max and get that top size, you've got to continuously move forward. Okay, so we're not big enough to get these yet. We've still got plenty of time, though. I'm seeing a good result from this particular level. Oh, here we go. Alright, little girl. Oh, not quite big enough to roll you. Oh yeah, I am. There we go. Our first person we ever rolled up. Okay, now it's time to get on the roof. And there should be some golden fish. Yes. Unfortunately, we're not big enough to roll up the golden fish yet. Dang it. Okay, but we can get some other stuff up here. Okay. And so you can see here, if you could look around a little bit more than you could, then you actually can. You can see that you're in a neighborhood that you're going to be rolling around later on. And I've really mangled that up. Oh boy. We are stuck. Come on. Come on. There we go. So this is the part of the game that I really like, where you're just so massive. And it's like the stage can't keep up with what you're doing. And I know that it was programmed to be like this on purpose. I mean, you're really supposed to get a feel for how big you are. You know, relative to everything else on the level. Oh boy. Okay. And when you start to see the screen get all foggy like that, that means you've done your job. And you see the angels flying around you. So we did well this time. 131. And the present, the wrestling belt. We got games. All right, we got time for one more level. Let's see, we got make Cygnus or make a star 5. Let's go to make a star 5. Good middag. The Netherlands, interesting. Rolling around the town. All right, we've got 13 minutes. It's going to work out great. All right. Quail eggs. That's what I was trying to think of. Not sparrow eggs. Quail eggs. You don't see quail eggs too often here in the States, but when I was living in Asia, you couldn't swing a cat and hit 30 quail eggs. So I like this game so much. They commissioned several pieces of art for this game. I guess it's kind of like concept art, and but it's all hand painted stuff. And I've actually printed some of that out, and I've got some hanging right here to my left on Amigos Studios, along with another awesome some game art from another obscure Japanese game called Tulip that came out for the PS2 that was a major dud in the United States because it's so weird, but it's probably my favorite box art of all time from the Japanese version of the game. And it's another one of these things where the Japanese box art is miles better than the US box art, which is super lame. I'm sure that this game has some sort of angle on, you know, the evils of consumerism too, since it's just there's so much stuff. You know, the Earth is really full of a lot of things. I don't remember these leaves in the first game. Interesting. Oh, can't get under there anymore. I also think, you know, it's so cool how, like, there are some places you can only go when you're small, and there's only some places you can go when you're big. And it's another one of those things that really adds to the replayability of the game. So we need to be 45 before we get through there. Do that. Let's get these handcuffs going. Vision. So tonight we're going to the Symphony to see it's called the Home for the Holidays concert. Go see some Christmas music live. We only go to the Symphony probably once or twice a year unless they're really doing something that I want to see. And but I'm looking forward to it. It's a nice thing to do with the fam. Can I free that cat? I don't remember that at all from the first game. Okay. I think we need to go to a place where there's more stuff going on. Okay, now we got 45. And we need to go over there. right, now we're gonna bust loose. And I think there's gonna be some bowling pins down here at the bottom. There are. Let's get ourselves lined up. Oh yeah. Strike. A health meter. There's some men. I wonder if they're calling men or Japanese helmets. Samurai helmets. Kendo helmet. Oh boy. You know, I was doing Kendo for a while. But the closest place to me that offered instruction is 2 hours away. So I could only go once a month, and it's hard to learn anything when you're only doing it once a month. So I decided to stick with Iaido. And also, you know, I'm just so slow. You gotta be quick when you're playing Kendo. Magazine rack. So I feel like I am not doing as well on this stage. I don't feel like I'm growing at the clip necessary for maximum high scorage. Kendo mask. Oh boy, oh boy. Caught under the thing. Okay, I guess they want us to roll back out this way. I really feel like by this point I should be rolling up people when I'm not. Need to cross that river. Oh. Get some of these plants, they will help us. The axe is necessary. All right, now we're picking up people. Now it's a good time. Ah, shopkeeper, out of the way. Okay. So this is really the genius of this game is the fact that they give you extra time at the end to make your Katamari even bigger. If the level would have ended, you know, when you make it whatever size, this game would have not been as good, nearly as good. Come on, girl. After the kids, it's the elderly. And then we move on to the middle-aged adults. Thank you. It's such a ridiculous game, you know? Roller boy. Oh, hair guy. You escaped. Fisherman. The next thing we want to start rolling up is some really big stuff. Continue to traverse through the city here. Anything that turns gold when you pick it up is good too. I discovered that. Just like real life. I bet, Pixels. What burger place did you stop at? Ah, Burger King. You know, Burger King is running a promo. They're at war with McDonald's right now in the States. And if you pull into a McDonald's parking lot and turn location services on and then open up their app, you can order a Whopper for 1 cent. And then, of course, you got to drive to a Burger King to pick it up. But yeah, you've got to be in a McDonald's parking lot and then open up the app and then order a Whopper. Pretty crazy. I do enjoy Burger King from time to time. When I was in college, it was a mainstay. Oh boy, the game is going insane. I think I've what's going to happen is enough things are going to eventually fall off my Katamari that I can free myself. Or at least that's the idea. I've never actually gotten stuck like this before in all my years of playing this game. There is... Okay, let's see if I can get myself... Yeah. Oh, I think... There we go. Ugh. That's where I needed to go. So I killed a lot of time there, but... Let's see how we did. I feel like I definitely could have done better in that stage. Yeah, not great. It's pretty big. Yeah. All right, and that is going to do it for my stream of Katamari Rerolled. After we watch this cutscene.
あら、もうサザエ島が見えてきましたね。
あれ、大きなおじさんが見えたのにな。
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. In the chat, Pixels, thanks for having us on Drive Time Radio. Necronom, Matthew, whoever else is lurking silently in the chat. Thanks for hanging out and watching my favorite series of all time. So glad it's finally on the PC. And I will see you. Probably going to be streaming some NES games tomorrow. So if you're interested, it'll be about the same time, maybe about 2 o'clock Eastern. You can check it out. Just feel like playing some NES. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Adios.